Do you think of bliss as something that just a few lucky people get to experience by some sort of divine grace or spontaneous awakening, or as some sort of drug experience or something like that, and not something that you have any control over? Well, actually, I'm here to tell you that there is a way that you can experience bliss in your everyday life. And it's actually a module that I have in my 6-month course. It's called Bliss and Rapture. It's the end of the course, the finale, if you will. And it's something that we work our way up to in order to experience bliss and rapture on demand. And you can do this too. I'm Waxéla Sananda. Thank you for joining me today. So I love this topic because I think so many people feel like bliss is this ultimate state to reach and stay in and then just be blissed out for the rest of your life. And that is not how I see it. So when I teach bliss states and teach the ability of the technique for reaching bliss states, it is not for the purpose of staying there forever. I mean, you're going to be in a different state after you release your physical body at some point. And that might be a time where you want to be in a bliss state for indefinitely. But what I'm talking about is reaching these states with the physical and emotional body on a daily basis. So it might be for 5 minutes, it might be for 10 minutes, maybe you stay there an hour, whatever you want to do, for the purpose of raising your frequency. And this is what Embodied Ascension is all about, raising the frequency from the inside out so that you embody more of your divine presence, more of your divine being. And as you raise the frequency of your physical body and your emotional bodies, you have the energetic body to hold these higher emotional states and more of yourself. And so the purpose of doing the bliss basking is to incrementally, bit by bit, raise your frequency to hold more light, essentially, hold more of you, of yourself, of your divine self. It's not so that you'll stay there forever. And, imagine if you were just in a bliss state for the rest of your life, there would be no contrast. We actually need the daily experience of challenges and different emotional states to keep us grounded, to keep us, really activated in our lives. Because if we are just so blissed out all the time, then we start to disengage. At least I've noticed that for myself. And I had an experience like this last night. So last night, I had planned to go to kirtan, which is a wonderful experience of chanting and dancing with other people. And I also had a second option to go to the drum circle on Siesta Key with some friends. All sounded wonderful and great possibilities. And I had intended to do at least one of those things. And before I went out, I wanted to do a meditation. And so I did an hour-long meditation in the new LQ1 Photon Lounge, which is 6 LQ1 spheres. And this is an LQ1 sphere. There's also one behind my shoulder there. That is photon light energy. It's healing energy. It's balancing energy. It's blissful energy. And so I laid in these with 6 spheres around me, and I did this guided meditation, and I got so expanded and so blissed out that when I was done, I didn't want to go anywhere. And my feeling was so blissful. And when I considered going somewhere else, my experience was, why would I want to go somewhere else? I have everything I need right here. Even though I was alone, it was this beautiful contentment that I didn't want anything. I didn't yearn for anything. I didn't need to be with other people. I didn't need anything. I just wanted to be present where I was with myself And that's all. That's all. There was nothing else, nowhere to go, nothing to get to, just being. And while that is a wonderful, lovely state to be in, and I appreciate that I got to experience that all of last evening, I can see how being in that state for, endless amounts of time, I would tend to disengage from the rest of life and other people because I'm just not motivated. There's no motivation to go be or do anything other than what is here and now in this moment. And so the great thing about experiencing that state is it's a healing state. It's an expansive state. It's a state that feels really good. It feels good in the body. It feels good emotionally. There's no FOMO of anything else in the whole world. There's nothing. I'm not missing anything. There's just this contented peace. And I love that. And also we need contrast in our lives. We need to feel some sort of contrast in order to want to experience more of what life has to offer. And I really do feel, enlightenment is probably that feeling a lot more of the time. And that's why people who become enlightened sort of disengage from life in society, because there's no need for anything. There's no desire to engage. I mean, if you're just in bliss, you just kind of want to stay in bliss and go be, or just be by yourself, not go anywhere, but just be, right? And so a lot of times people that reach that enlightenment state will disengage from society. They'll go live in the mountains or just go be at peace somewhere by themselves. And that's beautiful. However, that's not the life that most of us are here to have and live. And I know I, for one, am here to do what I'm doing, to be an ascension guide, to be a spiritual mentor, to do spiritual outreach. And in order to find the motivation to do that, I must engage with the world as it is and then see how I can contribute. And so there's nothing wrong with any of this. This is just this beautiful experience of life and being and contrast. And it's fun. It's fun to play in these different realms. So when I take people through the 6-month journey of embodied ascension, that final stage of being able to evoke these bliss states at will is such a gift, because as we do that, we learn to feel those emotions. We learn those emotions of like high consciousness, high states, high emotions become the norm. And they're not the norm for most people. So to get used to it and have that feel normal in your life is exceptional. And when you do that, you'll find that other people notice and they're like, oh, you seem so up and it feels good to be around you. I hear that a lot, where people that I spend time will say, I feel it's so easy to be with you. It feels comfortable to be with you. I feel uplifted when I'm around you. What a gift. So when you do this for yourself, you're actually offering a gift to others to help them feel good and raise their frequency when they're in your presence. Don't get me wrong. I don't have this state 100% of the time, and I'm not always delightful to be around. Believe it or not, just ask my kids. But I do often have that experience of being in these upper echelons of emotional energy and consciousness. And it is something that you can make part of your practice. And it is a state of being that you can move into. And then it's really incredible how effortless life begins to feel. Something that happened while I was meditating is I had Alki-1 sales come in while I'm just lying there. Good news came my way. And, so here I am meditating, and the universe is finding ways to support me in that. The universe, or the matrix that we live in, responds to how you're being and the frequency that you're putting out. I'm putting out a frequency of, I have everything I need. I am perfectly content. I am taken care of. I feel so generously supported. And what happens? Okay, the universe responds with, well, then I'm going to bring you something that shows evidence of that. I'm going to bring you sales. I'm going to drop money into your life because you seem to be in that energy, and we like to match energies. So that's just the way things work. See how it can be effortless when you raise your frequency and you hold this space of abundance and generosity as a state of being. It's just the way that it works, the law of attraction. You magnify your light and your energy, and then the law of attraction attracts positive experiences to you in that state. It really eliminates the need to hustle. I mean, there's no hustle in bliss. It's just bliss. And the universe responds with, how can I give you more bliss? How can we keep this going? Because this is nice. It feels good. It feels abundant. It feels generous. It feels beautiful. All of the things that most people think they want to feel. So another aspect of this that I kind of want to bring up, because there is an element of in an embodied ascension, we do a lot of work, a whole lot of work before we get to that bliss and rapture point. I don't expect anyone to just be able to snap their fingers and experience bliss. It's a practice, right? You practice feeling it. And sometimes there's a fake it till you make it element to that, where maybe you're going into meditation. You get to practice bringing up gratitude in your heart, practice rehearsing. What are all the things that I'm grateful for? And start to expand that list. I go into this on a daily basis. I do a gratitude practice, everything I'm grateful for. Not every day I have all amazing things happen. There are certainly days where things didn't work out the way I would have liked. But even on those days, there's plenty for me to be grateful for. For instance, I will go into, I am grateful for my eyes and my ability to see. I'm grateful for my voice and my ability to speak. I'm grateful for my brain and my ability to think, my heart, all of my organs, my body, my skin, my hair, my everything, all of these, we have this physical body to be grateful for. And when we're grateful for it, guess what? It responds to that in working better and feeling better. Grateful for my positive emotions. I'm grateful for the beautiful place where I live, the art, and the beautiful things that I have around me. I'm grateful for my friends and my family, my cats, go on and on and on and on. I mean, really, the list goes on. It doesn't have to be that one thing that I've been striving for that I haven't gotten yet. You don't have to look at that at all. Just look at all of the things, the wonderful things around you that you have gratitude for, and include those in your morning awakening meditation. This is such a great practice to raise your frequency. That's just one thing you can do. And after that, I go out in the sunrise and the morning sun, and I soak that into my skin and my eyes and my hair, and receive that in gratitude, filling up with light for the day. And that light is full of energy, with bare feet on the grass. And wow, what an amazing way to start your day. If you just do those two things in the morning, what am I grateful for? Spend a couple of minutes rehearsing gratitude and feeling the gratitude for those things, and then step into the morning sunshine and let that sun be on your skin and receive it in a blissful, grateful way. Those two things alone will amplify your bliss and your ability to tap into those bliss states. So there's so many more things. Of course, barefoot, I go barefoot as much as possible grounding on the earth, which is allowing the earth frequencies to come up into my body, harmonizing and balancing my body and my energy field. And there's proven science on that. I'm not just saying that because I heard it. There really is, if you want to look up grounding and scientific frequency and the evidence of that, there's proof that really works to balance our biofield and our physical bodies. One other thing. Okay, so I said there is an element of the fake it till you make it sometimes in order to get there. Something you want to watch out for, though, is being inauthentic in your life. And so you've probably known, almost everybody, I think, has probably known someone who is inauthentically happy all the time, right? Someone who every time you see them, they're just sort of trying to be this perfect happy person, but then you find out, there are other things going on in their life. They're sort of just trying to fake it in order to fit in or be liked. So I'm not talking about that. We don't want to do that because we want to be authentic in our expression in the world. There are also people that really genuinely are happy all the time. I'm not talking about them. If you're authentically happy all the time, awesome. Good for you. Keep doing that. But I'm talking about here inauthentic expressions in the world because we want to be as authentic as possible and still keep it high frequency. So what that looks like is maybe you're going through a challenge in your life or something difficult, and you really need to get it off your chest. There are appropriate people to talk to. Maybe it is a confidant, a friend, it could be a therapist, a healer, someone that you go to that assists you, but don't just unload yourself. We all see these Facebook posts from certain people that are just constantly negative about everything. A lot of people just air their dirty laundry on social media. I don't think that's a good idea. Not saying never ever say anything negative on social media, but it's good practice to not do that. Also, there are certain people that you probably have had in your life that just constantly talk about their problems and their difficulties and their challenges. And we all go through things sometimes, right? I'm not saying that you should never, ever do this, but watch out for being the person that always does this. Right? Because if you're always going to your friends, your circle, and unloading all of your negativity on them, that is lowering the vibe. So again, once in a while, or with a trusted source, a healer, a therapist, someone that is a confidant that you do this for each other and with each other occasionally, that's perfectly fine. But don't bring your negativity out into the world for everybody to see all the time, because that is actually bringing down the frequency, not only of yourself, but of those other people. And they're going to stop wanting to be around you, is what you'll probably find. Either they'll want to stop being around you, or they're the type of people that also like to complain. And then you'll find yourself surrounded by what? By complainers. And you'll be in a group of complainers. And then that's not good for anybody, right? Because you're all bringing each other down. So watch for that. And I'm not saying that you're someone that does that. I'm just saying, notice what is your expression in the world? Not to be inauthentically overly happy all the time. I think we should be genuine. If someone asks me, hey, how's it going? And I'm having a horrible day. First of all, I have no poker face. I do not have really, what I'm experiencing is pretty readable on my face. It's very difficult for me to pretend an emotion on my face. My face gives me away every time. So people that know me can always spot it anyway. So if someone says, hey, how's it going? What's going on in your life? I'm generally pretty genuine about it. Well, I'm having a challenge in this area. And, it's not what I want to focus on here with you, because I want us to have a great time together. And, just so you know, if you feel it in my field, if you see it on my face, there is a little bit of challenge happening, and I'm working with it and I'm doing well. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, can I offer something to support you? And if I'm in the right space, I'll be a yes for that. And other times I'm like, oh, okay, got it, and we'll move on. And that way I'm being genuine. Yeah, I got a struggle going on, but let's not make this about that unless, it's appropriate. So to watch that, be authentic in your life. Be the person, for me, I want to be, and I choose to be a person who is a safe space for people to talk to, and also a space where I tend to hold a high frequency, and other people with high frequencies tend to vibe with that, to resonate with that, and that's who I find myself surrounded by. And that's a beautiful thing. Like attracts like. So where you're vibrating at and where your frequency is, that's what you're going to attract. So if you notice yourself surrounded by negative people, angry people, unhappy people, then look at yourself and say, where am I attracting that? What part of me is either being that way or is an opening for other people to come to me with their problems? If you're the person that's like, oh, just tell me all your stuff, tell me all your woes all the time, and you find yourself surrounded by too much of that, then it's time to put some boundaries around yourself and say, I'm really working on feeling good and being happy. So there is a time and a place for me to hear your problems, but it might not be right now. And so set your boundaries and practice that if you find people unloading on you all the time, because nobody wants to be the person that everybody unloads on all the time. Unless you're a therapist and you get paid for that, set your boundaries and be clear about that, because you get to choose the energy that you're surrounded by, as well as the energy that you're putting out. And the energy that you're putting out will attract what comes to you. And so I'm going to end this there today. I really am just here today to encourage you to tap into some higher emotional, physical, blissful states on a daily or regular basis, even if it's 1 minute or 5 minutes. Let yourself kind of drift into those states. And if you find yourself there in your meditation, do some basking and just like being in the sun. And like if you could think of laying on a raft in the water, the perfect temperature and the sun coming down on your body, that's like bliss basking. You're just letting yourself feel and be present in that frequency for as long as you choose to. And then when you come out, it's like you've just taken this bliss bath and you're refreshed and upgraded and your energy feels good. And if you just don't find yourself able to get there, that's okay too. Start your daily practice of gratitude, expressions of gratitude. Write down what you're grateful for, share with the divine. Here's what I'm grateful for. I'm so grateful. And let yourself feel that. That alone will expand your ability to tap into those blissful states more and more, and purely and authentically. I'm Waxéla Sananda. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is helpful to you, do please give it a thumbs up, like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can join my email list, which is in the show notes. If you're interested in Embodied Ascension 6-month course, I'll be starting that up again in September. So go ahead and you can look in the show notes to find information on that as well. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a beautiful day. I love you. I cherish you. Namaste.